Hello and welcome to the Veggie Kitchen. I'm your host Ed and we're podcasting from Orange County, California. Today we begin our Things to Do with Tofu series. Tofu breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stay tuned. Today's recipe is our Tofu Western Scramble. We're starting with tofu. I'm going to add a little bell pepper, green onion, and some veggie ham. First I'll start dicing. I've got the bell peppers. I'm using about a quarter or a half of a bell pepper, and I'm using 2 green onions. This is about right for the amount of tofu we're using. We have a block of tofu. Tofu is about 1 pound. And I've got some veggie ham. This is a neat product. You can buy it in most stores now, even local supermarkets, not necessarily natural food stores anymore. We actually got this at our local supermarket. It's a brand called Yves. Okay, I've got my ingredients here. I'm going to use 1 ounce of butter. See, I got my heat on about a medium-high. Is what I'm going for. Okay, let's get the butter to cover the bottom of the pan. And then I'm going to add my spices. I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric and a 1/4 teaspoon of a 21 seasoning salt. This is like a Mrs. Dash type of salt. Actually, there's no salt in it. It's just a salt-free seasoning, but it adds a really good flavor. The turmeric is great because the turmeric gives a nice golden tone to the tofu. Tofu is a white substance, white product, and the turmeric gives it a nice golden yellow color. It's looking good. I'm adding the bell pepper, the onion, and the veggie ham. I'm going to cook it around for about a minute or so before I add the tofu. I want the bell pepper to get a little bit browned. I like to add my spices first because it gives it a nice toasty flavor. Tofu is a neat product. Tofu has been around for about 2,000 years. It comes from China originally. Some creative person back in China 2,000 years ago was making something with soybeans and ended up with tofu. And now it's everywhere. When I started eating tofu back in the 70s, it was only available in specialty stores. It was in natural food stores or Asian markets. But now every local supermarket sells it. And it comes in different textures. It comes in a firm, an extra firm, a soft, a regular, all for different recipes. The one we're using is the firm. Okay. It's looking good to me. I shall add my tofu block. This is what tofu looks like. It comes in a square package, usually in the produce section or the dairy section of your local supermarket. Okay, I'm just going to put the whole thing in. And then I'm going to mash it down. See, this is a scramble. I'm using tofu instead of eggs. This is a great way for you to switch out your protein. A change of pace in your protein source. Tofu for breakfast. This is looking good. The turmeric is yellow and it's changing the tofu to a nice yellow color, giving you that scrambled egg look. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. This is to taste. Up to you. And then I'm going to add 2 ounces of cream cheese. The cream cheese is great. It's going to add a nice smooth texture to the scramble. And you just mix it up, let it melt down. If you had wanted to make this dish a vegan dish, vegan meaning no dairy products, you could use a margarine. A really good product is an Earth Balance margarine. It's a non-hydrogenated margarine. And instead of the cream cheese, you could add a nut butter. I would add something not so strong, not peanut butter, probably either a tahini, which is sesame butter, or maybe a cashew butter. Just to give, for the same reason as the cream cheese, just to give it a little creaminess, a little richness. Tofu by itself doesn't have much flavor, so it'll pick up the flavor of whatever you're putting it in. Okay, I'm going to let this go for a minute or two. Cover it up. We'll be back in a minute. It's been about 3 minutes. I put the lid on it to help it cook faster, but if you leave the lid off, it'll cook off more of the moisture. Tofu has a lot of water in it. I'd say we're done. Okay, look at that. You want to see that? Look at that. Okay, this made enough probably for about, I would say at least 4 people. I'm going to put it with a bagel. Let me see. I think this is easier for serving here. I'm eating it with a bagel this morning. A little juice on the side, a little fruit. And you're good to go for the day. Let's see this. Couple strawberries. My glass of juice. And I have my breakfast. Tofu Western Scramble. Well, that's our recipe for today. Thanks for watching the Veggie Kitchen. And if you like, you can go on veggiekitchen.org to see our other recipes. See you soon. Thank you.